is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, and Intel.
And we're back. Here we go again, Valencia. Everybody's swimming. I'd love to do that later on with you guys. And we're back at the DreamHack ASTRO Open. We have 8 teams from the US and Europe fighting it out for that trophy and $100,000. We are here with match number 4. It's the Swedes. The Swedes face off. Red Reserve versus NIP. NIP, largely the favourites coming into this, but it hasn't been all plain sailing for them recently. So let's jump into that. I am joined here on the analysis desk with Vendetta and Jacob. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing good, yeah. Excited to see the domestic rivalry continue. We got a good bout between CLG and Energy earlier on, so expecting much of the same in that sense for these two teams. Yeah, this should be a close one, right? Like, how are you feeling going into this, Jacob?
I'm not necessarily sure it's going to be close, but I'm kind of excited to see what Red Reserve had to bring to the table.
So what can we expect then? Because maybe I'm not an analyst. I said it was close because they're Swedish.
You're at 100%.
All Swedish people are great at Counter-Strike as far as
Why are you even listening to me? Yeah, but no, I expect NIP to show that they're NIP, and I expect NIP to keep climbing up and reaching some sort of the form they had at Cologne, because that was impressive, I'd say. It's probably the best NIP we've seen in a while. Whereas with Red Reserve, I personally have no idea where they stand right now. They have a lot of exciting prospects, a lot of interesting players, but how great are they actually on LAN? How great are they as a team and all that kind of stuff? I feel NIP have a lot of stuff going on for them that Red Reserve needs to play very well in order to stop.
Yeah, I guess the big question mark and the one silver lining for Red Reserve in this kind of a matchup is, first off, domestic matchups always weird, regardless, because the players know each other. Obviously, we have Michaelilla, former NIP player, twice actually, playing against his old teammates, and in addition to that, we've only really seen this new NIP lineup perform on Cash. That's the only map they've picked up wins on. And to be fair, it's 4 map wins versus very good opponents. That nothing to scoff at, but obviously, I think it's a pretty safe bet that Red Reserve are not going to allow NIP to play Cash.
We want to see a few different maps from NIP before reserving judgment. Let's have a look at the NIP lineup that'll be joining us on the stage here in Valencia, and you guys can run us through these players. A few people very familiar.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. Normally you'd go just like, well, we all know them, but at this point it's actually, starting to be, there's starting to be some new faces on the NIP roster. Obviously, the tried and true would obviously be, your man on the screen right there.
Right here.
Exactly, Get Right, who had a very, very good Cologne showing, actually. He's been one of the players who's been kind of out of it, honestly, in 2017, one of the biggest slumps of his career, if not the biggest, actually. And then you have the one man who's kind of been the consistent part of NIP for the longest time, Forrest. And again, good showing for him in Cologne as well. It's like when that duo of Get Right and Forrest get going, NIP are just a dangerous team regardless. Exists, the 3rd remaining member of NIP, also the in-game leader. And again, like these 3 are the ones that everyone is going to know. It's the next 2 that are kind of the most exciting to bring into the picture, and that's going to be Drake and First, the new Opper on that side, relieving Forrest of those duties, and I think that's a benefit for the entire team. You're just going to allow Draken to do what he excels at, and also allow Forrest to pretty much be Forrest, which is never a bad thing.
How's he been performing? I know we've only seen him on Cash, but how's he been performing?
No, Draken's actually been pretty good. Obviously, he's had a couple of more tournaments than Rez, who's the very fresh face there on the NIP squad, but Draken's been doing pretty well for himself. Rez as well had a pretty good showing at Cologne. Again, very limited map pool, so we don't know how well practiced NIP are going to be on both maps, but it seemed like Rez had a pretty good idea of how to play within the team, especially on the T sides for NIP, at least on Cash.
And across the stage from them, we have one other familiar face, which we mentioned earlier, and it's Michael Laley and his team of mates, Red Reserve.
It kind of feels like that in many ways.
So that's the thing. I didn't want to say it like that, really, because it's not his team. But actually, there's a lot of faces here that are not familiar to the wider Counter-Strike community, but we have to remember they are Swedes.
That's the thing. Like, for a lot of these players, they're primarily, again, like the guys who are constantly on FACEIT just absolutely destroying you for no good reason. Freddy Frog being one of them, being probably the strongest player for Red Reserve outside of Michael for the past couple of months. But these guys have gone the same route as we saw Draken, Disco Dopplan, and Rez, Freddy V. All of these guys who've ended up in Epsilon now, eventually Nip and Fnatic and so on, just hugging it out, putting an immense amount of hours into the game, and it's paying off in a big, big way. Overall, again, it's true what you said. All Swedes know how to play Counter-Strike, and that's no exception for this squad as well. So even though they might not have necessarily the name you would start with the dominant Swedish players, they all know how to dome heads.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it, that they get this opportunity to play this, work their way up from pugging. It's incredible, right?
And they earned it themselves. They played very well in the qualifier for this event, and were destroying teams they probably shouldn't have destroyed. I had the honor of playing them myself. I was playing a few weeks with the X-Trick lineup, the Danish lineup, and we played them in some random tournament called Hellcase, I believe, and we lost to them. And it was like, that was the first time I ever had anything to do with a lot of the players from Red Reserve, and I was like, who are these guys and where did they come from? Because I've been in NA and I've been away for a year, and all of a sudden these guys are just like removing me from the server. And especially Freddy Frog, as you pointed out, like he's been absolutely insane. I noticed him when I played against him, being insane, and then again when I started to like look some more into him, like his stats and the way he plays in pretty much all their games are just insane. One of the prospects as well that has had the same like career path, I'd say, as Rob's maybe. He's been accused of cheating and all that kind of stuff by some more prominent players. So there's a lot of pressure on his shoulder, and I'm looking forward to see how well he actually does perform on LAN, because he's been an absolutely beast online.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. Surprise, surprise. Red Reserve ban Cash first. Is their first ban. We also won't see Mirage.
Yeah, so against standard bans from NIP, they don't play Mirage at all. And Red Reserve, not only are they playing Nip, who have only shown something on Cash so far, but they don't necessarily really go towards that map themselves either. So yeah, it's pretty cookie cutter stuff so far. Actually seen Cobble removed from NIP. Again, this was one of the other maps that they actually played at Cologne. They did get run into a bit of a wall when they ran versus Cloud9, but I'm not sure if that's what really influencing their vetoes right now. But we know that as new of how many new players you have in that NIP squad, they still have the consistent confusing vetoes at times with existing behind the wheel.
Seems like it. Also, like Cobble is one of the maps that Red Reserve play very well. We played them on Cobble when I played with Trick, and they demolished us. So it's a map that they play well and they know well.
Could it be an overpass the third time in a row?
I was going to say, are we going to see another one? But no, it'll be Inferno.
First time
I've seen Inferno today.
First time Inferno at this tournament so far, but also like a very classic Swedish battleground. If you want to go back to like Katowice 2015 finals with NIP and Fnatic, it's just a map that lends itself to very good Counter-Strike memories when Swedish teams are involved. So I'm pretty happy to see that. Also, always fun to see how teams evolve on this, still fairly new map, even though it's been out for a couple of months and teams have gotten to wrap their heads somewhat around it. There's always like something new to learn. We still haven't seen CT sides really just figuring out how to play aggressively CT side on apps, for instance. So, oftentimes when kind of not necessarily a revolution happens on a map, but something new is figured out, a trick of some sorts, it's oftentimes one of these underdogs teams who've just had one sole focus the entire time instead of going from tournament to tournament to tournament, that have figured out one of these niche tricks that actually just solves a lot of the issues that one side is actually running into. So maybe Red Reserve have something special planned.
That's a very good point. That's how I feel about Inferno right now. It's I wouldn't say it's random, but it's like, as you said, like if you find that one niche, or you find like a one default that actually works against a certain team, and you can like keep abusing it throughout a game, like when the other team haven't faced it before. Like there's nothing really you can do on a new map when you don't have the experience. Not even if you're NIP and like are major champions. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what Red Reserve have, and same for NIP. It could be them who have something like in the sleeve that we haven't seen before, or it could be just a standard Inferno game.
That's what I was gonna, I was just wanting to speculate a little bit about NIP, because obviously we've only seen one Cash. Could you speculate on what, based on the three players that we know and what we've seen so far from these other two players, what can we expect in Inferno from them specifically on this map?
Well, I mean, it's kind of tough to tell, especially because we know that Thread is going to be allowed to be a much more active part of the team in this tournament, as he was in Cologne as well. So that actually does allow NIP to have a whole new tactical aspect to themselves, so that actually might change their in-game decision-making and so on, compared to other tournaments. But for the better part of it, I think we're going to see a fairly cookie-cutter approach from NIP. Again, they come in as favorites. They should rely on their own play instead of focusing too much on what Red Reserve are doing. So I wouldn't expect anything crazy out of NIP.
Same.
pretty much the same. Like I'm more like interested about how Red Reserve will approach the game, you know, because it's like at least when we played them, I can only speak from my own experience, but they were very aggressive. It was like almost hyper-aggressive players in Freddy Frog and Mike Lille obviously as well. Like the way he opts is he takes a lot of risk, but it often pays off when he's actually in a great period. So I'm looking forward to see how they approach the game and if NiP is able to handle that, because it comes down for me to whatever NiP are able to handle the fast pace and aggressiveness from Red Reserve. I think we're going to see.
What's going to be going through Michael Ailey's head right now as he comes up against some of his old teammates?
Show them they made a mistake, I guess. No, well, not in that sense, but you know, he obviously wants to put his best foot forward, and I think he's in a pretty good team to do so as well, because again, he's, as you mentioned, not very familiar names on his team, right? So he does have the opportunity to kind of be the spotlight star. And we've seen him thrive in that kind of position where he's actually left to his own devices and he's allowed to have a lot of freedom with that op and roam around and again, play very aggressively. He thrives in that situation at times. So that could very well be what happens here in this kind of scenario. We haven't seen too much experimenting from ops in terms of how they play, especially CT side Inferno. Oftentimes we'll see them just venture towards Banana. That's kind of where they hang out, and you see the rotation off of B having a sole player with an op and towards speed, and that's pretty much your entire defense. I wouldn't be too surprised, though, if you saw some shenanigans coming out from him. Maybe like aggressive mid smokes, pushing in towards second mid to find that early peak, that kind of stuff. At least that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
Cool. So the time has come for official predictions from both of you. Jacob, you go first, as we've been working around that way. You go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with NIP. I think they should be able to win against Red Reserve. I'd say it's open, and I see a chance of a potential upset here. But NiP should be the better team. They definitely are the more experienced team, and I simply don't see, and I don't know the Red Reserve guys well enough to say whatever they are going to be able to go up the likes against Get White and Forest. You must assume that they are some of their like idols as well. You know, they're pretty young, some of the guys on Red Reserve. You know, so going up against your idol at your first big event ever, you know, that could play in as a factor as well.
Oh, it definitely can. And again, echoing a lot of the sentiments that Pimp just said, that the fact that everything kind of goes in the favor of NIP if you talk about experience, individual players. The fact that Get Right had a really, really good tournament in Cologne, that's probably something that's going to boost his confidence, which, you know, for a long time he has been, at least by Get Right standards, a non-factor. If he can get into his own groove, then, you know, any team should be scared. So a lot of things are going in NIP's direction. And again, it's a learning experience for Red Reserve.
So you're
going with NIP as well. Yeah. I was about to say I'm going with the Swedes, but that's a bit of a cop-out.
Yeah, I'll go with the Swedes too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so tempted to to go Red because I feel like it could be another.
Do you potentially want to do you want to destroy the prediction?
No, because then
percentage here. You're at 100%.
I'm at 100%, and I feel like
the profit so far.
I feel like I could really pull ahead in the prediction game if I went for Red and they beat them. I'm going to go for Red Reserve.
Oh, well, there we have it. Are we calling Red Reserve to win a major in 2018 as well?
No, 2019 for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. One more year. Reasonable.
It is very reasonable.
They're a year away from being a year away, and that's how it is.
Yes. I'm training them as well. Me and Michael Ailey, we're writing the rule. I am. You have no idea. Our casters are ready, and we've changed them up. It's now Risk and Harry. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. You know, the box is fantastic. A little bit small. And you know, I've been listening to your guys' predictions. I'm gonna go Red Reserve. You know what? I'm gonna
give it a go. Harry.
Yeah. Well, James, I follow you to the end of the world, my friend.
Sticking together, like.
No,
what is this?
It's definitely going to be NiP win. There's no way around it. I agree, but both of the two guys who actually does this for a living on the desk there. So of course,
well, that doesn't always work.
I know. I've seen some of the stream today. It has been very weird.
Are you guys enjoying Valencia? Since this is the first time we're chatting to you. How are you enjoying Valencia so far?
Oh yeah, I've been here for a couple of days actually.
Yeah,
I've actually been to the city, saw the old town, saw the beach. It's been really good so far.
It has. It's been boiling though. I'm already sunburned. I've been outside once for about 5 minutes getting to the bus to come here, and I'm like red already. That's the hair though. So yeah, that's fine. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, I got sunscreen. Risk actually lent me some, which was fantastic. He came prepared. I didn't. James, do you have any sunscreen? You were pretty burnt when I saw you the other day.
No, I hadn't. I have some sunscreen, but I hadn't put it on at that point.
I didn't
which was
think
a
you had.
mistake. The biggest mistake though was walking from the airport to the hotel.
Had to cross 3 motorways, if I remember. Yeah, that was.
It might be illegal, so let's not talk anymore about that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I was allowed to do that in any country. It's not even jaywalking, is it? Crossing motorways. It was dangerous. How are you guys looking forward to seeing this reformed NIP on something that isn't cash?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting because, as you already discussed on the desk, like we see them play cash, we see them play train as well, and these are the only 2 maps we've seen this lineup with. And of course, we still have the history of NIP behind us, and we can still like look at that and see what kind of maps do they prefer. But we also have to think about the fact that they have 1, potentially also 2 new players in the lineup. So a lot more has changed role-wise in this team. So we're not exactly sure of how they're going to play an Inferno because, let's face it, me and Harry, we haven't practiced against them, so we don't really know how they do.
You know, I mean, I've always been a NIP fan. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I love him, especially Exist. He took over my heart. You know, went for Flaren, went and joined James actually, Team James. But yeah, no, I mean, I think they're great. And Rez is a fantastic addition. I can't wait to see what he actually brings to it. I'd like, you know, in all honesty, I wouldn't mind seeing a couple more players brought over as well. Not sure who I'd have them replace though.
6-man lineup.
Yeah, 6-man. Yeah. Then they would be.
That's the way to win.
Still all right.
Just have 6 people in the game.
That's like Team used to do that back in the day, so it's just a throwback.
Guys, it's been lovely chatting to you. We're going to go and sit down and watch you cast this match, you beautiful men. Have fun.
That was very personal, wasn't it? I like that. James, you've won over my heart. Now let's see, you know, who's going to win over the hearts of everyone at home? Is it going to be NIP or will it be Red Reserve? I mean, you know, obviously Red Reserve are coming into this one being the underdogs. I think that's something we can both agree on. But that said, you know, I think, you know, a lot of these top Swedish players are saying there are people in this team who are kind of the next players to keep an eye on, right?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I was talking to Draken and Yezel Cologne just last week and asking the question, like, who are you going to be looking forward to seeing coming in from the sub-top to the top of CS right now in Sweden? He was saying, well, there's a lot of players, but the one that I think will be the most damaging in the next couple of years or maybe even months is going to be Freddy Frog. And like, he's now facing up against him here in Valencia. So I think that's going to be a pretty interesting lineup. Also because if you think about the fact that the Rez and Draken has been at this kind of like, not really at the pro super high level yet. And then they joined up with him, and now they're here. And now they're facing the guys who were in their position before. So it's kind of like almost kind of like a throwback, like facing your former selves.
There we go, facing, because, you know, the darkest beast that we all have to face is ourselves from other lifetimes. And, you know, that's something that, you know, a nice metaphorical message I think we can take home from Risk's statement there. Yeah, so we're just going to be waiting to get into this one. I mean, I did predict Red Reserve.
Hmm?
I went for the ballsy prediction. Had to side with James. I have to side with Dad on this one. But NIP are really good. And I really love the team. I love the addition of Rez. I mean, he was kind of part of the dream lineup I had listed for NIP. I was sad to see Freiburg go. I think a lot of people was, but I think, you know, we have to admit that he had kind of hit that point where it made sense, you know, for him to try and pursue something else, because it has reinvigorated the team. I mean, they were looking deflated, right? NIP, they were looking, you know, they've been playing together now for years, and I don't know what it is, but I guess, you know, just being with the same people for so long does just like wear down on you eventually, right? So
yeah,
and not just that, but I guess they became very comfortable in what they were doing, and now I feel like, you know, Rez has kind of reinvigorated them, especially along with Draken. Both of those two players coming at the same time. I think if we'd seen them, you know, keep Draken along with Freiburg in the roster for, say, another 5-6 months, and then bought Rez, and it could have been a different story. I mean, not to say that Draken would have necessarily lost that competitive vibe, but having, you know, 2 new players who are so thirsty to win in at the exact same time is fantastic, I think, for NIP.
Yeah, and also because, like, these players, of course, Draken and Rez has known each other. They've been playing together for a long time as well. So if you kind of consider the fact that they have some synergy, and they bring in that new synergy and that feel from Epsilon, that underdog feel coming into a team that was, for a long time, never the underdog. Doesn't even matter if they were playing against, let's say, a Vega Squadron at the Major. They were still the favorites to win it, and that's a very hard role to maintain for such a long time, because if we go back historically, NIP was this, like, insane team. They went 87-0 back when I was casting in the beginning of CSGO, and they had such a dominant era, and now they're at this point where we're not exactly sure where they are yet. But the additions of Rez and of Draken is, like, I think it's going to be working wonders for them, because it will invigorate them. It will put them in a position where they are now more hungry to get the wins.
And, you know, let's quickly then look at Red Reserve. They're coming into this as the underdogs, but they have got some top players in the lineup. You know, we spoke how they've got up-and-coming players. They've also got Makalele in there, so it is very well established. And you know, on top of all of that, we saw them do very well at kind of their first event as a team, their first LAN. That was the NVIDIA GeForce Cup. They were there. They came second, but you know, that's still a huge feat. I think they lost in the finals versus Space Soldiers, if I remember correctly. I was there, so
yes,
I hope I remember.
I know that you're correct.
Yeah,
I can tell you.
I just put that in there, you know, lacking in the confidence department, but it's okay. Yeah, who needs real confidence when I don't know where I'm going with this. Well, anyway, look, here we go. Look at these beautiful people. You know, we got NIP up on top. You should know all these faces by now. Forrest, his beard is just mighty, and Draken, is his camera a bit like black and white, or is he just a little bit, I don't know, less saturated in real life than the rest of his team? I don't know. You know, these are all things that we can definitely look into.
He might be less saturated, but he always brings more firepower, Harry.
Yeah.
That's one of the specialities. And here we go.
What he lacks in color in his skin, he makes up for talent in his blood. But yeah, about to get into this one. NIP over on the T side, and Red Reserve going to be kicking this one off, sending Hampus over here. Down Banana to try and spot these players out. Just going to be holding it. Actually looks like he might try and take some aggression. Out comes that pop flash. Now the peek going to come through. Going to be forced back, and that'll be Rez to open up this pistol.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 against 1 because Rusty's forced all the way back here. We see him holding the defensive angle. He's not had time to get into the walls. The bomb site now, Rez can come in here, take him out. Now they have control over the entire bomb site. The CTs have to retake. One of the players is still on the A bomb site, and this is just not looking good at all. Rez just removing them completely. 4K so far with a pistol. Picks it up, easy peasy. Freddy all alone, and there's pretty much nothing he can do here.
Yeah, I mean, we said how he's, you know, one of the up-and-coming players, but a 1v5 versus a legendary Swedish team such as NIP might not be the introduction he was looking for. Gonna be trying to stay alive, but there's only so long he can hide behind this pillar. There's so many players on the other side of it. He's somehow still going, but there we go. Rez, what a way to kickstart this pistol.
Yeah, of course, the newest addition to the lineup.
Just
gets into the tournament, gets into the pistol, just gets the casual ace. No worries.
It just didn't even feel like, you know, it made it look so easy.
Yeah, that's the thing with pistol round aces is that you take a lot of different duels, and like that right there, the 3 kills in there, that's in my mind the most impressive. The incoming Glock on the Banana as well, also very nice. Michael trying his lockout with the Deagle. No Quantiques today, as we do have the standard buy for this second round here. Pistols for the CTs, 1 UMPM Rusty, and that's here on the Banana. Yeah,
he's going to be pushing around the corner. Exist, able to pick that one up. And now they're looking to try and continue this aggression. Relaxer holding the angle, forced back. This is where Hampus has to step up, and he will. Gets himself one. Still looking to try and maintain this. Okay, there you go. Was a little bit skeptical as to what he was aiming for there. Now it's Relaxer trying to claim some revenge. Can't find anything with the Deeg. They are looking like they're going to look to try and fall away, leaving Draken there to hold the angle for just a little bit. But the bomb going to be picked up as now NIP turn their attention out towards mid.
Freddy Fox all alone on this side right now. Makelele is rotating into library, but at the point where he can peek, Forrest will already be in control of the angle. Let's see if they're actually going to check it. No. Well, Exist is there. And he takes them out, and now Freddy knows what time it is. And he's going to be all alone here.
Yeah, he's up in apps. He's going to hear that bomb going down. Can try and peek on out to pick one up, but just going to remain hidden. Takes the peek now, going to be spied. Has to try and fall on back, and Relaxer still struggling to find anything with this Deagle. Going to find himself in the 1v4, fighting for his life. Just does not seem worth it. And he's going to look to try and claim an exit and then just fall out here with a rifle if he can get one. Looks away at the wrong time, and Draken will finish him off.
So one thing that I really like here from NIP is the way that they clear up towards mid. Okay, they try on Banana, it doesn't really work out. They rotate back, go mid, and they go up towards long. The way they just clear every single angle, always have someone looking at the 2 positions where the CT could be. You saw when Freddy was up in apartment as well, they had one guy jumping into pit, holding that. As he was jumping in, you had a second guy on graveyard, edging himself in to clear the apartments. They're just very methodical with how they clear different positions on that T side going forward. I really like that. I think that's a huge part of playing that T side, is that constantly going over the checklist, checking every single angle, and when you've done that, you can enter the side, and that's exactly what NIP has done. And now, they'll begin to use peace.
Yeah, and they've already got themselves into the B-bomb site. Everyone from Red Reserve over here on A. And it's going to go undetected as NIP. They just grab B while they can. No one's here to hold them back. Hampus going to be the first man on the scene. Is now where that bomb's gone down. Going to be caught over in CT by Rez with the MAC-10, who now looks to try and make some fast, quick, and easy money on these players retreating out of A. Get right peeks out. Gets himself the first, still alive, but has to be careful. There are players pushing into him with the USPs. They can try and find one, but he's going to be allowed to get out of there. And now just holding the angle. They've done a bit of damage. One frag would be, you know, okay for Red Reserve, especially considering they've invested so little, but ultimately it does not mean much. They're going to get farmed up by the SMGs. Rez making 1.8k. Means the AWP can come into this round for NIP if they'd like.
Let's see what they decide to go for. Sticking with the bonus round right now. So that means they're sticking with 2 of the UMP45s on the NIP side. Gearing up on utility on the CTs. Of course, not enough money to get an AWP in. Some of the players actually missing some nades as well. So it's not the perfect setup for Red Reserve, but definitely better than what they had last round, which was USPs. Let's see how NIP are going to approach this. Right now, pressure up towards second middle, taking map control towards apartments. Forrest will be the first one in. Molotov will not really slow him down more for than 1-2 seconds. And now they have this map control. The question is, what are they going to do with it? Because right now they could easily go for a split A, but Red Reserve still has all 3 players, as you would expect, on that A bomb site, holding the correct positions. So they either have to fake something out or come up with a new game plan.
Yeah, right now the plan is to stick everyone over in mid. They're going to go ahead and smoke off long. Relaxer, going to be holding the angle, goes in for the spray, finds some damage, but will be forced back. Makalele has to step up in a big way. Going to be trying to fend this one off, but Forrest will shut him down. Relaxer falls in the meantime. Freddy within the site, he's still alive. Could deny the bomb plant, but no. And things get very bad for Freddy. He is going to fall, leaving this now on Rusty and Hampus. 2v5. Able to get one, but that will be it.
Really nice job here from NIP. Only losing 1 member. I don't think that's going to be all remaining CTs are going to be saving. Of course, the natural choice in this kind of situation. Post-plant with 4, in a sense, 5 terrorists alive before Rest went down. Of course, you want to save there. So now, NIP going to go up 4-0 on the T side here of Inferno. And we were talking about this before the game went live. You haven't really seen much from these teams on this map. So I was kind of hoping that some of them would have something new, something fresh in line for us. But so far, NIP doing the old, pretty much standard take towards the A-bomb site, and just going through it methodically. And that's what you need to do. You have to have some kind of a bottom that you can build upon and constantly add to that default we always keep talking about on that T side. So far, NIP are doing good work on this default. Right now, of course, forcing Red Reserve into the situation that we see. 2 weapons saved, pistols on the rest.
Yeah, for IP, it looks like they're going to turn their attention now over here towards Banana. Hampus able to go and find the first. Now that's a bit of a change here for Red Reserve, who have been fighting this with the man disadvantage. They've been able to pick up one very early on, but Rusty's holding it close. Has to be careful. Player's just on the other side of that smoke. As it starts to fade, Rez nearly spots the head. Going to be allowed to fall back. They are going to go ahead and boost up Rusty with the M4. Right now, though, for NIP, they're still trying to fill this one out. You've got to exist. He's over in towards mid. Trying to get them some presence out towards the A-bomb site. He's been allowed to sneak on by. There is a player up on balcony, which he has to be careful for. That will be Hampus. Smoke goes down to deny the vision of Makalele. That's going to be the first man to fall for Red Reserve, putting us back into the 4-on-4. You can already see it's Fane that rotates out from Rusty, who's now playing Speedway.
Yeah, that's a problem if you're playing 2 players passive and 1 player aggressive towards long. If that player goes down, you open up either kind of like the highway to CT, or you open up for the rotate. And so far, they're playing 2-on-2 on both bomb sites, playing very defensively, sticking to their guns for the original idea, and here comes the push. Rusty to defend.
Yeah, trying to hold this one down. Waiting over by Coffins, has to step up in a big way, but Rez going to be able to shut him down. Instead, it's Freddy chiming in with one, trying to get more work done. Backed into the corner, but Get Right's able to find him. Doesn't do anything apart from a boatload of damage, and now it's just Hampus and Relaxer in the 2-on-3. They've got Get Right and Exist and a 30 HP between them, but they are just going to make the decision to look to save the M4 and armor on Hampus, the CZ for Relaxer, and the 5th round on the board now for NIP.
So Red Reserve right now, the problems are that either they're playing too defensive. With some of the players, Makalele, of course, a player that we always know that he likes to go on the aggressive, likes to go for the peaks. And he does so, but he does it without any form of backup. There's no one trying to refrag if he dies. There's no one peeking from the other angle, making noise, making sure that he can go and get that opening frag. He's literally taking a 1v2 duel in mid. And you can do that if you have other people refragging or other people helping you out, but he's doing that all along as we see just the player die there and lose that weapon. But if you want to go for a defensive setup as they did on the A-bomb side, everyone has to be in on that. I don't think you can play aggressively one of the players. I just don't think that's going to pay off in the end. And right now it's not paying off because NIP are leading 5-0 on the T side here.
Yeah, they've gone for the double AWP setup though over on that CT side. Relaxer and Makalele going to be the ones with the rifle. Going to turn his attention over to middle. No one presents themselves just yet, but you have to watch out because Get Right, he's going very aggressive up through ult mid, as is Forest. They're going to look now to try and take control of apps. There is a player here to try and deal with this. It will be Freddy Frog. While the rest of Red Reserve now try and go aggressive down through Banana. Isolate Draken into the corner. He will fall to Rusty. Now they've got themselves the first. Rez trying to trade this one back. Doesn't find anything through the smoke, and that is the man advantage picked up here for Red Reserve. Over on the CT side. Going to re-smoke Banana. Keep the aggressive hold up. Now they're going to rotate Hampus back towards the A-bomb site.
And that's really nice. Like pulling something out that NIP are not expecting after playing very defensively for a couple of rounds. You push out Banana, utilize that smoke on the back of Banana on that T side, and just get that frag on the AWP that you know sometimes can be there. They hurt him as well. And now the T's are rotating onto the other side, but with the Makalele shot right there, this hold is looking good for Red Reserve. This could be the first round on the board for them.
Yeah, going to be making them up long. Rusty's in a great spot to try and shut this down, but he misses. Now going to take the re-peek, and Forest will punish him for it.
Oh, they're going to rotate through CT.
And this B-bomb site's almost entirely open. There's one man here. It's Relaxer. He's got to try and hold this off. If he finds the first, this is more than possible. But it all depends on whether or not he lands this first frag, which he will. Forest goes down, now turning his attention back towards Banana, while the rest of NIP have snuck in towards the B-bomb site. Exist has to be careful. He's about to get pounced onto by Hampus, but he just gets around the corner in time. Here's the bomb plant come in. Exist holding the angle. The peek comes in from Relaxer. Fighting for his life, picks up Exist. Now it's all on Rez. In the 1v4, he's got himself the bomb plant. It's going to be ticking away, and Red Reserve have to come in for the defuse. They're on the clock. Rez to hold the angle. Knows there's a player over in CT. First man crosses. Down goes Hampus. Still got more work left to do. Going to be spotted on the cross. They know exactly where he is. They've got him trapped. Defuse going to come on out. It will be spotted. Rez trying to connect the shot, but he can't do it. The defuse coming away. And Relaxer to finish him off. That is Red Reserve in with their first round.
And that was inches away from him being able to hit that headshot. Very unlucky for Rez. But very lucky for Red Reserve. They get the first round. Makalele hitting that AWP shot. Very nice play from Relaxer as well with the AWP. As we see the shot coming up here, holding that Banana. Because as I said the round before, if you open up that long on A, you kind of like let the terrorist run through CT, open up the CT completely. But then if you have Relaxer on the Banana on an aggressive stance, you can pick that first frag and rotate back. So good job. And once again, they go for a little bit of an aggressive Banana play. See here, Rusty utilizing some grenades and get a little bit of map control. Once again, this three-man push towards Banana this time around. There's no NIP players in sight. They're just allowed to take map control. And that's still pretty good because now they know, okay, there's no one contesting Banana whatsoever. We can smoke it off, 2 smokes in a row, holding them off from that area for such a long time. And then they can rotate one of the players back. So they got a lot of map control, they got a lot of information, and they didn't lose anything apart from a couple of nades.
Yeah, you can even tell how it's restricted in IP as they find everyone now towards top mid, looking like it's going to be an A execute as they throw the smokes and flashes in. Pop flash themselves through mid. No one here from Red Reserve to hold back the tide of NIP. Swedes about to be heading their way as they flood into the site. First man up is going to be Exist. He's also the first man down for NIP. And now Makalele holding this one off. Gets himself 2. Freddy Frog stepping up within the site. Able to go ahead and claim 1. Fighting to try and stay alive. It's Rusty to come through on the rotate and shut both remaining players down. And that is Red Reserve in with their second.
Really nice play from Makalele. He was holding in pick, got the first one, rotated away to pick an alternative angle, got the second kill as well. And when you get that 2-for-1 in a defensive position, you're pretty much done your job. And as we see now, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Rusty coming in here from behind with the flank. And if you can pick 2 up from a flank as well, that's pretty much the round 1 combined with Makalele. So that's basic math. But once again, Red Reserve pick up a round. Relaxer close to hitting the shot. And 5-2 is the scoreline. And both teams have a full buy. Double up setup on the CT side. Relaxer missing a bit of utility. He's only on the smoke right now, but hopefully that won't challenge him for the rest. Draken on the same. Actually doesn't have anything apart from his ult. Very important round coming in for both teams here.
And it's that boost once again over towards Banana. It's going to be, this time, Hampus, the man up on top. The rest of the team over here at 8. NIP looking like they want to try and grab control of mid once more. This time, Makalele's there, but Draken's faster on the trigger. Able to pick up that first. Now they've got themselves the man advantage. The question is, what are they going to do with it? They picked up one out towards 8. We've seen Forest now push out over towards Boiler. Freddy and Relaxer, the 2 players still within the site. They've already rotated Hampus round. There are 3 players here for Red Reserve. Freddy able to go ahead and find one. He's fully flashed, but he's still alive and kicking, trying to hold the cross, but it's Rez to go ahead and get one. Exist. The stars align, and he gets himself 2, leaving it all on the lone B player, Rusty. It does seem like NIP are going to come straight back and get themselves another round.
Pretty much the same idea as the round before. Just the A split coming in from NIP this time working out. Makalele wasn't able to step up to the same extent as he did before in the defense. The flank was denied, and that allows NIP to get that bomb side, winning the duels. Really nice from Freddy that he actually wins that duel despite him being fully flashed in the first one, but the second, the rest of the team comes in from short, there's no backup, and they can both face him, so they can face 2v1 in that pit, and it's just not possible to win that at all from Freddy's perspective. And now Rusty, of course, saving as he should be, has utility and an M4. So he's going to be all in his lonesome here in the Banana, and I might be going to get another round 6-2 on the T side here of Inferno.
There he is, Exist. My angel. He's doing fairly well within the team right now. Made it a little bit personal there, listening to me.
Your angel, no one else's. But yeah, that was a really nice round from Exist.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, the player really to highlight is Rez. Top of the board for NIP. He's doing some fantastic stuff. As you said, that was a good one there for Exist. Into this next round, however, it's going to be a bit of a force coming in from a Red Reserve. They got the AWP for Makalele. Interestingly enough, they don't have that same AWP set up over here at B. Looks like they've gone ahead and ditched that in favor of having the AWP over on A. Draken finds himself trapped. We saw this work last time, but Rez and Draken have adapted. They've learned from their mistakes, and this time they shut down 2 players on Banana, leaving just Relaxer inside the B-bomb site, and he's going to find himself fighting for his life up on top of first Orange. Just has to try and hold back this push coming on in. Spots out the first. Rez will go down. That's the star player for NIP, but Draken trades it straight back. Some unfounded aggression. Extends that welcoming hand into the equalizer once again, but it's Makalele to step up in a big way. Gets himself one. Freddy chiming in with another elsewhere out towards A. And now somehow we're into a 2-on-2. What looked like it should have been an NIP round has quickly been pulled back into equal terms.
Makalele there, missing their first shot, but making sure he hit that second one and stays alive with the AWP. Freddy in a perfect position, but they are peeking him, and they're not doing it correctly because he's allowed to at least win that first duel. Now, Get Right, the legend, against his former teammate Makalele, AWP in hand. Smoke and flash for Get Right as well, so he has some utility to make plays around this bomb has planted. And here we go.
He's going to be holding the angle. The smoke's down. Makalele just goes running on through. He had so much time left to play with, but he tries to catch Get Right unaware. I think even Get Right was shocked by that play.
Yeah.
Just like, Makalele, you're better than this. Come on.
It seems like Makalele wanted to... He had a timing in mind, which he thought that maybe Get Right was going to be throwing a grenade or something like that, and he could push in, but that just does not work out for him at all. Makalele taken out, and Get Right wins that duel against his former teammate. 7-2 now, and as I was about to say, Red Reserve will be forced on a full eco if they lose this round. You saw one player with a deagle, one player with a UMP-45, lacking nades on pretty much everyone, and now they're on this eco here. The strongest weapon right now for Red Reserve is a deagle. We all know what the deagle can do, but still, this should not be a round to win for them. And of course, Forest, legendary beard, legendary man, has bought a Mac-10 to farm some money up.
Yeah, the Mac Daddy of NIP. He wants to try and make some money if Red Reserve will allow it. It exists to find the first, though, over in middle. Freddy just offers up the deagle on a silver platter, and he will go down. With that frag, NIP, they're going to turn their attention out towards A, and it is the right call to make. I mean, Red Reserve, they've stacked everyone else on the B-bomb site. The idea here kind of being, you know, play for the retake on A. And actually, it looks like that might be panning out. They're now starting to rotate players off. The timing here couldn't be worse. They take the aggressive peek. Makalele's been caught out in the open. More players just handing themselves over to NIP. Rez will go down, but Exist is here to try and refrag. And then in CT, the Mac-10 rattling death from afar, able to get himself one. It is Forest. That is an 8th round now for NIP.
Yeah.
Red Reserve, they're going to be able to buy down going to be missing the AWP, though. Oh, no, they're not. They do manage to get it up on Relaxer, so that's all good. They forego the armor, so he is going to be, you know, completely in the nude with the AWP.
And one of the things they're missing as well is the grenades. One of the things we've seen them utilize so far on Banana is using a lot of Molotovs, a lot of smokes to take that map control and force the terrorists out of their positions. They don't have that opportunity right now. Right now, Draken is... He can stand here forever. They don't really have anything to counter him. They don't have the Molotovs to take him out. They can smoke him off from long range if they want. They do have a couple of smokes, but then they're going to miss that smoke coming into the site. Holding that push back, and now Relaxer opens up. Rest goes down once again. It's the new man to go out.
Oh, Makelele caught out in the open. Get Right is able to finish him. It's Freddy who has to try and step up in a big way here. Gets himself the first. Does return that man advantage back in favor of Red Reserve. The flash is coming on through for NIP. Do signal they want to try and go for this, but they can't find a refrag. A player's been allowed to get in through long. It is Draken working himself into the back line. But NIP realize they haven't committed too heavily into this one. They've lost a couple of men in trying to make this a reality, but they've got plenty of time left. Rusty going to take the aggression. Wasn't necessary, could have been punished for it, but it did pan out.
Very nice communication coming in from Red Reserve here, because you could see the guy over at long holding that CT angle, just calling every single position that he heard from the footsteps of the Ts. That's why one of the CTs on the bomb site was constantly also checking the corner towards long, because he knew there could be someone pushing in. And it's very, very important to have that communication going in. If you don't have that, the round is pretty much over, because you have no idea where the terrorists are and no one really knows what's going on. Right now, though, the remaining two on that T side have rotated towards B. There's only one CT there. One in CT spawn coming, ready for the rotate. Hampers will be taken out. Second one coming in now, that's Rusty.
He's trying to spot these players out. They've been allowed to cross into the site. The rotate has been called from Red Reserve. They're going to find themselves in a 3-on-2 in the retake. They've got that man advantage. But Draken's been allowed to set up over here by Warheads, and he's going to be a huge problem for these guys to try and deal with. Get Right. The man holding Banana. Won't be able to assist Draken too much unless these players push directly through CT, but it looks like they might do. They're going to kind of boost one up onto Flowerpots. Now push through that smoke. Draken doesn't quite connect the shot of the first. The players have made their way within the site. Get Right now pounces out. Only gets one, but it's Draken to step up in a big way. He gets himself two. Relaxed at the last man left, but you can't stop Draken. The Swedish beast gets himself three. And you know what? They're all kind of that. But still, that is NIP in with a ninth. They're happy with that one, and you know I think you would be too.
Oh, the second no scope he got was absolutely insane. The first one missed the first shot, got the second one, no scopes the. Wow, that's Rusty just going down. That's just painful to watch. Does not go for the peek in the smoke. He didn't hear the defuse, or he just decided not to go for it, and grabs that win, wins that duel, and wins that round. And now we have a pause coming in. It was called by Red Reserve, as one could expect. Now, I'm going to have to be talking it over with their coach. And probably has some insight now after been analyzing or looking at how NIP have been playing for the last 11 rounds. Surely has something to say, and we can expect them to throw something different out of the way. But right now, I think they're actually going to go for P250, maybe 5-7 by it. Clearly a pistol round after this pause, and then the round afterwards is the round that, this is what they're talking about right now, the buy round coming in after this. That's what they're communicating, finding out what the issues are, and they're coming up with solutions as well. Because the older players are listening to the coach here. No one's answering back. And on the other side, Threat, of course, just talking to the boys.
I mean, it's kind of weird, right, for Red Reserve. When you look at it, they're playing it very, very passively early on. They give up a lot of control. With the exception over towards Banana, we see them go for that boost every now and again. And whenever they've done that, it has worked out brilliantly for them. But we see them keep giving up a lot of presence, in particular over towards the A-bomb site. And then it's almost like they then go to try and reclaim what they've given up at the start of the round. And then that's when they get punished. They take aggression after deciding to play passive. And it just feels like they need to really fully commit to one or the other, because the amount of times we've seen Red Reserve caught off going for these plays where they have no information, and it's very easy if you're NIP. If you've been allowed control of mid, there's really only two angles you've got to find yourself watching, and that's boiler or long. And if anyone just comes walking around either one of those angles, they're dead, right? You've got one place to look. They've got, what, a good, like, 6-7 angles to check, and that's if you're playing, you know, one of the default ones and not just playing a, you know, a random off angle. So you're at a huge disadvantage if you're trying to reclaim territory you've previously given up. as a result, I just think like Red Reserve, they need to kind of fully commit towards one of these. It seems like they're trying to do both, and it just is not. It's not lending itself well to them whatsoever.
They need to align the 5 different players right now, because it feels like they're not.
This is metaphorical.
Yeah, it seems like they're not 100% on the same page. I think they're really close, and I think they have a lot of potential. But right now, they're not on 100%. It seems like they're not really agreeing with what the game plan is and what it should be. And that's something that they need to... Oh, actually, I was thinking that we're going to go for a pistol buy, but actually going to go for a force buy here. 3 UMP 45s, Deagle, and Max 7. Usually not a round that I would bank on them to win, but let's see here. With the pause just being had, surely they must have something in store. And as we talked about, they didn't go aggressively enough on A. That's exactly what they're doing right now. This could work out for them.
Yeah, the best part here is that they've all made that same decision. There's 2 players up in apps dedicated to this together. They can trade this out. The first frag did actually come in the form of Makalele, but now it's Relaxer. He's going to be holding the angle, playing a bit of an off angle. It's going to be checked by Get Right. He gets himself the dink. And now this is where Freddy needs to step up and trade. He's in a great spot to do so. Should be able to return that man advantage. Bomb still dropped over in mid if you're NIP, so they haven't entirely got the A-bomb side just yet. They might have control.
There's no one on the side, though.
Yeah, they have to get that bomb there. Get Right. Spotted out. Freddy just going to execute him nice and swiftly with the Mag 7. Still got more work left to do as Draken now just waits patiently at the bottom of the stairs. Better watch out. There is a monster hiding under the staircase, but he takes the peek, and Freddy will be quick to snuff him out. Bomb trying to cross into A. They had control of it a couple of moments ago, but
now the rotate's coming in.
The rotate's already coming round. Rez able to get himself one. And now the 2 players left for NIP. They're just playing it around the site, taking this very, very slowly. So many angles left to check. Clearing them out. Gonna get that bomb down.
Very tense moment right now. CTs are slowly rotating in. They don't want to start the retake until the last player is there. They want to have this 3v2. They know the weapon advantage is not in their hands. And right now, Exist grabbing that first one, making it a 2v2. Exist low HP, though.
Yeah, that Molotov within the site. Gonna force Rez back, but he takes the peek, finds one. Just gonna go into dispatch of Rusty. It's all on Hampus, who's got himself the UMP, but Rez with the 3K, the hat-trick for the Rising Star within NIP, and that will be a 10th on the cards. And at this point, that was looking so good for Red Reserve. They kind of threw that one away at the end there. Couple of unnecessary peeks. You see the first coming from Makalele. Now that was just for the information. Didn't entirely need to go for it, but you can understand why. I think really that round was lost for the most part. The second you lose Freddy Frog to Exist, you know, the player up within Graveyard. So that did somewhat throw this one away. They've elected to go for a, you know, partial buy again.
Yeah, and the problem is right now that some of these players are buying down to $1,000. 3 of them have okay money for buying in the next one. But then Freddy's on 950 and Rusty's on 1050. That means they will have to go either for a UMP 45 and utilities or an M4 no utilities. They do have a decent loss bonus, actually. It's just about the max. So they will have the maximum amount of money they can get in, but the question is this going to be enough? I don't think they're going to be... Whoa, okay, it doesn't matter if you land shots like that. Makalele dispatches of Draken. Get Right instantly with the refrag, takes him out. And Forrest coming in as well.
Oh, Relaxer hiding in the smoke. No, Rez, not a fan. Shuts him down. And now it's just Hampus and Rusty. 2v4.
Yeah, at this point, I would like at least Rusty to save. The UMP 45 can be used in the next round. Hampus can stay and watch for the exit frags.
I was trying to see if what you wanted was going to be a reality. Hampus able to get himself one. Rusty, don't... Okay, he's making it work. Actually, the 1v2, this is now entirely possible, but he hops over towards Long, nearly catches Perez, but he counters back with some fancy hops of his own. And that is going to be an 11th for NIP. Red Reserve trailing behind on 2. I was expecting, you know, NIP to do well. I wasn't expecting them to do this well, however. I mean, Red Reserve struggling quite a fair bit, I think, on Inferno. It's one of the maps, in all honesty, that they're not that insane on, so I think, you know, it was to be expected. I didn't really see the vetoes going this way. I was very surprised when we ended up on Inferno. But they've got that double op set up once again over on the CT side, and that could make all the difference.
Definitely. This is a bit of a gamble for them, because right now they're going for the double op instead of utility. Some of the players could also have gone for UMP utility instead of M4. And did like also getting that Molotov, because we've seen them utilize it on Bananas a couple of times now, and it is very useful on the CT side. Opting to go not like to go for the M4 instead of that is definitely a choice. See if it's going to work out for them. I think at this point you want to have M4 over utility. UMP 45 not as strong as it used to be. Let's see a Rusty if he can grab something with his. See if they can make this work. The Red Reserve. Already taking down the first one as Exist has gone down. And slowly the banana push dwindles. As the NIP team, well, using the time, still have 55 seconds to go, and pretty much okay utility coming into the site. Let's have a look here.
They're going to be lining up, ready to go in, keeping it silent for the time being. No one from Red Reserve with any idea as to what's going on, but already Makalele, he's a little bit curious, has rotated into Speedway. It's Relaxer, the man to spot the first, does find damage onto Draken. Rusty stepping up. Makalele's here to try and assist best he can, peeking through the smoke. Get right in with a quick flick to shut him down. It will be the 2 on at 3. Bomb plant going to come through as Get Right's quick to punch in those numbers. Rotates coming in from Red Reserve. Relaxer is the first man on the scene. Gonna wait for his comrades on the A-bomb site to join him. Get Right, the only one with full HP. That smoke gonna start to dissipate, and Freddy, he's waiting patiently on the other side. Pop flash gonna come out. Wants them back that much longer. Spots the player out. Over towards Coffins, gets both. Get Right in with the spray. Now he's on 2, and Draken a step up there at the end. Executes Freddy. And that is another for NIP. They somehow win that one out. They were a man down. No one was looking that healthy. Get Right was, you know, kind of all right, but look at this, fantastic stuff. Look at that. I mean, finds the first on the Makalele, then he steps up here, gets the first. I think, you know, he didn't actually mean to even get to. Relaxer just kind of couldn't stand being alive any longer. Just the existential crisis got too much for him. Jumps into the bullets.
I was about to say I would congratulate on Red Reserve actually saving that much utility until the round was almost over and actually being able to hold back the CTs, but then they just run into Get Right and just all die off. Once again, they have a force buy. Red Reserve, it's looking really tough for them right now. Exist just pushing in. He's going to be taken out by Hampus, though. Draken taking the second fight. Draken, can he do this? Smoke goes down. Knows there's a CT. Oh, gets him through the wall. Draken, absolutely perfect. What is that? Coming out of the young Swede, takes both of them through the wall. What was that? Harry?
Draken? Hello?
Is this a simulation, Harry?
What is going on? Now it's all on Makalele and Freddy. They're in the 2v3. Draken's already found 2 through walls, and well, he probably sees these 2 coming in as well. He knows what's going on. Holding down CT. The peak going to come out. Goes for the quick fancy flick, but it doesn't land. Instead, he gets himself the second. And Forrest to finish this up. NIP with 13 rounds. A Red Reserve trailing behind on 2. And at the end of the first half, NIP are looking fantastic into the second.
I could not believe my own eyes there. That was insanity.
Look at this, right? So, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm
the
like,
first
no,
one makes sense. That makes sense.
You know,
the second one.
And then he's like, okay, I'm not done yet. Relaxer. His spidey sense is tingling. That is one happy man. Even he's like, have you really gone and got this on for LAN? But, I mean, there you go. I guess, you know, he maybe he's getting a bit annoyed at the fact, you know, Rez kind of stealing his thunder. Everyone's like, oh, look, it's that guy from Epsilon. He's doing really good. And then Draken had to remind everyone that, you know, he's also absolutely insane.
And that's one of the things Draken can do, and that's why they picked him as...
Is that one of the things Draken can do? Just through walls? Is that like a reliable thing?
Oh, what I was about to say before you cut me off was that he's very good at hitting the flick shots, the strange shots, not like the turret style AWP that we see, let's say a player like Guardian utilized back in the day, just holding an angle, being sure to hit that shot like 99 out of 100 times. He's very good at taking the alternative shots, finding the weird angles and still getting something out of it. And I think that's one of the things that NIP could need to kind of reinvigorate the team, to have someone who thinks about the game differently and opens up different avenues on the map. And that's exactly what Draken is doing. 13-2, pistol round in the second half coming in. Can NIP make it to 16? It's looking very likely right now.
Exist. He's hungry. Wants to try and get this pistol. Red Reserve have been forced back over the middle. They don't want to try and commit to this. They know that that B-bomb site isn't too ideal to push into if you don't find anything on Banana early on. So instead, they look to try and mix this up, turn their attention out towards A. They're going to go ahead and throw out that flash. Doesn't find anything, though. That's already some utility used. Don't have much. And with that one flash, they're going to make the decision to head back to B. The idea here is they've used some utility out towards the A-bomb site. That's expensive. It's a, it's a very, very hearty resource to start using up in the pistol, and now they've turned their attention back in towards B. Makalele to open things up. If this goes down, Rez is to try and step up and bring this one back. For NIP, he's been able to get the first. The rest of the players now pouring into the site, and Rez just playing it safe, waiting for his teammates to rotate in. He has to buy time, and by time he has, going to get himself two. Draken now chiming in with one, and NIP, they slam down the gauntlet. Relaxer trying to keep his team in this. He's got 3 players in front of him. He's ducking, weaving around, but Forest will finish him off. NIP pick up that pistol in spite of a good start there from Red Reserve. It just seems like there's no stopping them right now.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to know in this round is, I think it was Relaxer who bought a smoke and a flashbang, and usually when you want to get that entry, when Makalele gets his opening frag, you put down a smoke towards CT or towards coffins, and then you flash yourself in towards the bomb site. The smoke came down for CT. The flash, he just kept that on him for the entirety of the round. I think he could use that much better if he thrown it in towards ruins and then open up that area, because Rest was still dominating that area completely. So it might have been because he just forgot it. I don't really think so, but it's, yeah, it makes me think, because that flash could have changed a lot of things, a lot of duels in that round. It doesn't work out. Tech9 train incoming for Red Reserve. They're trying to salvage whatever they can, but it's very hard being down 2-14 and having that economy play against you as well. UMP 45s for NIP, as one can expect. Full utility. You got Molotovs on multiple players, kits as well, 2 of them, 1 on each side, I'm pretty sure. And I don't see a lot of arguments for Red Reserve winning this round, unless they can open up with a couple of headshots.
Yeah, Makalele looking to try and relive his day. Deagle displays out towards the B-bomb site. Rez, he's still alive, only manages to get 2 before Freddy does trade him out, so they can get the bomb down in B. It's Hampus who could make all the difference, shuts down these players rotating around, and just him being here causes so many problems, especially as he drops out Forest. It's all on Get Right. 1v3 player coming in from behind. He's got the idea that there is a man here, but he's also got the players within the B-bomb site to worry about, and Get Right just backed into a corner. And, you know, this is played perfectly right now from Hampus. He's only got 2 HP. Just from being behind Get Right, it's completely locked him out of this round. He has to worry about so many different angles. And, oh, I was going to say, could have gone down there, but Get Right had his wits about him. It will be a 3rd for Red Reserve, and they really needed this round.
They got the opening frag with Makalele, with that deagle. We know he can make magic with it. And then they had the flank as well. Hampus playing that one perfectly, as you mentioned. 2 kills coming in with the Tech9, and it's very hard to play against the Tech9 if he's like in your back and you're not sure exactly where the Tech9 is. If you're the CT and you're just holding an angle, knowing that, okay, he's going to come through here, when you hear the flashbangs going over, you know what's going to happen, that's easy. But if he's somewhere in the area and you don't know if he's behind you or in front of you or wherever, and Hampus can just is allowed to just weave back and forth like that and play close range angle Tech9, it's very hard to do anything against it. And now NIP still on 14, but buying around this. Draken with the scout. Get Right boosted. That's an interesting one, of course, for the Logs position. Rest trying his best here with the deagle. Hold that corner. No more funny business on the banana, please. No more shots through walls. I can't take it. They don't have it all. It's fine.
I mean, they've got a scout, which is like the baby brother, right? So, Rez going to be holding the angle. There is a player there who might present himself. Rez is going to end up falling to Relaxer. Now it's Exist in his place, trying to pull this back, which he does. He's now on 2. The player going to push this smoke to try and help out. It's Perfect. Get Right. Shuts down Relaxer, leaving this on Hampus and Rusty. 2v4, the round that never should have been. NIP poised to try and pick up. Hampus, his head peeking out over the graveyard there, will be torn off, but Draken quick to go ahead and return that one. Leaves it now all on Rusty. He has got himself the bomb. He's in the 1v3, has 35 seconds left to try and play with. And he's making his way in towards the A-bomb site. Draken and Get Right, the 2 players here. Rusty peeking on out, is going to be allowed to exit out through apartments. There's a player in the back line, a player over towards library as well. Going to go in for the bomb plant. They don't want to waste too much time here. He will be allowed to get it down, but should get executed still. I was going to say, able to fall back, but no, going to get denied. The round going to be picked up by NIP a round they never should have got. That banana play risk was perfect.
Yeah, definitely. And now in the situation we saw in the end here, before we see that, let's just rewatch Exist's highlight, because getting that first frag is challenging in itself. Get the second one and then saving time, just making sure that he can hold the position until Get Right rotates in. The timing from Get Right was perfect as well, because when you hear that UMP 45 reload, you want to push him because you can then punish him. But Get Right rotates in at the exact time that Exist is almost done reloading, the exact time that the terrorist would be there. He grabs the frag, but yeah, NIP just looking good. In a round they shouldn't have won, they win it out, and Red Reserve on one of their characteristic force buys. We've seen it time and time again on this map. And now it's NIP to use Molotov to take banana control. And it works out.
He spots the first and the second. Can't even see them, he keeps going, but Freddy finally puts a stop to the madness that exists to try and step up. He only gets himself one before being dropped out the equation. Hampus falls. It is all on Rusty in a 1v3. He's got himself the bomb. Draken's within the sight, though. He's locking it down. And NIP, to say this win was convincing is an understatement. 16-3. They looked flawless from beginning to end. Fantastic stuff from one half of the Swedes. The others needing a little bit of work.
Yeah, we saw some potential highlights there. There was some good decision making. The frags, the aim coming in was also decent, but when you play against a team like NIP and they're hitting their normal level, this isn't even their final form. This is just like a decent NIP. If you hit that, then you're going to have a hard time because they're playing well strategically. We know they have players that can step up at any time, and they've done it here. 16-3, winning that Swedish derby. NIP. Well, now we know they can play other maps than Cash. That's pretty much.
Yeah, I know.
Conclusion.
It was worrying, right? I was thinking, like, is it Cash the beginning and end of the map pool? But it doesn't look to be the case, as they show they are incredibly comfortable on Inferno. Train as well, another good map for them. So, you know, they're building it up. They are building it up. I mean, the rest are known quantities, and I'm excited to see what comes of them throughout this.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting tournament. Of course, NIP, one of the big favorites to win it here in Valencia. Red Reserve, of course, always coming in. When you come in through that open qualifying, you're kind of like one of the teams that, of course, are going to qualify at later point, and you're not exactly sure how well they're going to do. You get smashed in the first game. Yeah. At this point, there's nothing to lose for Red Reserve. In the next game, they can just go for it all. There's no strats to hide, nothing. They can just go for it all. NIP on the other side now have a chance of qualifying straight into the semifinals if they win this next winners game.
And, you know, that's an exciting prospect if you're NIP to go, what was it, 3-0 in the group stages at ESL 1 Cologne, then come into this as well and doing very well already. If they could manage to win out, you know, that next, the winners bracket and then make it through into the semis, that would be huge for them. If they do, you know, I'm going to say it now that they're probably my favorites to potentially walk away with this.
And my favorite is right now on the stage, your favorite as well, it's Exist and Stunner, of course.
Oh, thank God.
Well, thank you very much. I'm standing here with Exist, the man with the plan, coming off a victory there over Red Reserve. Now, watching you guys play, you looked like you were having fun. You looked like there were smiles. Talk to me about the confidence with this team right now.
I think we have a lot of confidence. We have two young guys that played really good. It started off on a pistol round. Res got the ace. We actually let him have the last frag as well, just to make it more fun and give him more confidence. And yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
Well, NIP having undergone that recent sort of change, what would you have to say to the NIP fans right now?
Like I've stated in previous interviews, I think we're on our way back. It feels good during practice, and our confidence is back in official games as well. And I think we have a really good lineup right now and good atmosphere in the team, and Tourette is doing a great job as well.
Hey, you guys look very comfortable, very much coming into your own. You're going to be poised to face Counter Logic Gaming now. How does that look? FNS said it earlier. He's excited to play against you guys.
I think CLG, they're a really good team, like tactical good team, and they have good individual players as well. They're on an uprise, I think. Like us, they haven't been playing good before, but now they seem to be on the uprise as well. So it's going to be a great game, I think.
Well, you guys are looking strong. I want to wish you the best of luck in that matchup. And now I'm going to throw it over the desk where these guys are waiting by.
Thank you very much, Stunner. Fantastic interview there. So like they're saying they're filled with confidence, and I like the fact that he instantly mentions the youngsters. He's like that. It feels like they've really reinvigorated the previous three members of NIP there.
Yeah, you can kind of see it, you know, with how they start off the games as well. In Cologne as well, similar story. Rez getting off to a hot start. Started this game with an ace. you can't do much better than that. And obviously, just continued that tempo really for the better part of the game. You saw him just actively chasing people, even if it's, doesn't matter if it's an anti-eco or a buy round, he's just constantly going after people, just getting in their faces and having a high success rate doing so as well. So yeah, great signs of life. We also saw some varied play from NIP on their T side on Inferno as well. It wasn't necessarily just pick and play. Saw some set executes that were cool that they brought out. So yeah, I think we can finally make it a clear statement that NIP knows more than just cash.
Yes, they know 2 maps now.
They know 2 maps. At least, but they've been very solid on Inferno.
Yeah, I'm really excited actually to see where they go from here. And, I want to see them on all the maps eventually, but it's very, very promising from them. They're even just pulling off wall bangs left, right, and center, as we can see in some of the highlights that we've got coming up. Here we go. Here it is.
Draken just
casually. Draken just... Oh,
never happens to me whenever I try that. So it's just a guy just coming running out with CZ or something after the first shot, and then I die.
What's that second one? Is it?
Yeah, like
it's just by pure natural feeling for the game, trying that second one. He felt it right there. Yeah, you see him Rest. Just want to point out the RDA for Rest 141.
That's incredible. Yeah,
that's absolutely insane. And I'm glad Exist points out the youngsters. Because rightfully so. Rest has come in hot. And he did it in Cologne as well. Played decently, I'd say. Yeah. So make them feel a part of the team, and I see this NIP going far. With Get Right being back, with Forest playing well again. This could be potentially a strong contender for a top 5 spot in the world again.
Yeah, I will say though that even though the final result ends up being 16-3, not necessarily a very clear-cut picture of how the game panned out, because there were quite a few situations where Red Reserve, I think it was at least 4 situations when Red Reserve was on the CT side where they actually throw away advantageous situations. We have 4v3 after plants, 2v3 after plants, even 2v4s. So there was definitely opportunities for Red Reserve to actually get a bit of a grasp on the game. When they win 2 rounds in a row on their CT side, they had the opportunity to actually break the economy of NIP. Obviously, doesn't come through fully for them, but if they have those small advantages go in their favor instead, we could look at a quite different game, or at least a much more competitive one. But instead, it just kind of ran away from them.
Is that inability to win out the rounds just an example of lack of experience for these Swedes?
It's more like NIP being the better team, and maybe more experience, I'd say. But there's always it's fun you pointed out. There's always 2 ways to look at that. You look at it from the loser's perspective. Yes, we were so close to win so many rounds, just around here and there. Then we got a key round, and we're in the game. But you can also look at it the other way around. We were the team that won 16-3, and we won all of the close rounds. We were the better team in all the tense, pressure situations. That also tells the story. So, I know it myself. When you lose a game like that, or when you lose a 16-14 game and you lose a few rounds you shouldn't have lost, then yes, you can always blame it on we should have won that, we should have won that. But you didn't, we didn't. So that's how it is. It's always fun to look at it like that. So I'm pretty confident on NIP's behalf that they're satisfied, they're happy with the win, and they did it in a fashion that must give them a lot of confidence going into the CLG game.
Yeah. Cool. So we have now played all of our first matches in the upper brackets of both groups. Let's have a look at the groups now to see where we are at in the tournament. We've seen KPI surprisingly beating Envious on that very close 16-14, and we saw Misfits and Heroic go up against each other, and Heroic also coming out on top. So those winners' matches will be KPI and Heroic for Group A.
And over in Group B.
Then in Group B, yeah.
CLG versus NIP, and in a similar fashion to what both Exist and FNS mentioned in their interviews. Pretty excited for that matchup, actually. Both teams who've had a steady rise, I guess. NIP, in a shorter period of time, obviously, without just having made a roster change, but it's going to be a fun, interesting map, especially with how much preparation, at least this iteration of the CLG lineup, usually have done for their opponents. And we saw it at DreamHack Summer. And you would assume that going into this tournament, they know that NIP being in their group is going to be one of their main targets in that sense. So looking forward to see what they have planned for NIP and how kind of that veto pans out as well.
Yeah, you excited for the rest of the day, Jacob?
For sure, and especially like you pointed out, the NIP against CLG game. It's as you said, it's 2 teams that right now are rising up in the world, and I'd like to see how strong they are compared to each other. Now we get to see 2 teams who have confidence, 2 teams who believe in themselves, and we're gonna see who is most arguably the better team in this best of 1, and that's something I look very much forward to. Yeah.
Cool. We are going to go to a quick break before we start going into those upper bracket matches in the group stages. But first, I do want to remind you guys that during the break and throughout the next 3 days and onwards, you can have a look at the Strafe Esports app. It is the home of news and updates, standings of teams in tournaments, also specific players. If you're a fan favorite of a certain player, you can see what tournaments they're going to be playing at, where they're coming up, and how they're doing. So definitely download that while you're in the break, have a go on it, and yeah, see what we've got coming up for the next few days and in the future of esports. We'll be back very soon with 2 great upper bracket matches in the group stages.